Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with Golden Opportunities Coaching YouTube channel. Welcome to those of you who are new. Welcome back to those of you seasoned veterans of what we do around here. Please subscribe, like, comment below if there's something we can do for your benefit. Certainly want to be helpful. We've got over 380 audios for you to check out on a variety of things. And in any event, today we're going to talk about rejection. If you are dealing with rejection and recovery from rejection, be it professional, personal, family, or relational, please feel free to reach out. I deal with people in rejection recovery all the time. There's two ways to reach out. You can go to the About Me section of this YouTube page, and my website is there, or you can go to @POPerception on Twitter. Send me a direct message there, and we'll make sure we can hook up with you. Really want to help as many people as possible in 2021. In any event, there are certain things to think about when it comes to rejection, and we're going to kind of run through about 7 or 8 of those. The first thing is acceptance. So, look, rejection does not mean that you are a bad person. It also doesn't mean that you can't recover. It also doesn't mean that it really matters. The amount of focus that you put on being rejected or accepted is directly related to how successful you will be. Neither rejection nor acceptance is 100% foolproof, and so it's important to realize that someone else's definition of you, positive or negative, has an impact on you, yes, but you determine how much of an impact and for how long. And so accepting the freedom of a person to make the choice to reject you is one of the first things that a person must do to gain recovery. The next is removing oneself from the environment. The more you stay in an environment where rejection is likely, the more likely you are to have an adverse emotional reaction. This could mean yelling, screaming, crying, saying harsh words you'll later regret, fighting to defend yourself in a way that's going to make you look unnatural or uncomfortable in front of others, or any other number of things. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't have a time where you defend your position. Certainly doing that is necessary and useful and helpful in many, if not most, situations. However, having a clear definition of being able to be clear-headed when defending oneself is far better than the knee-jerk reaction that comes immediately after rejection. And so removing oneself for a couple of minutes to a couple of hours, and sometimes in extreme cases a couple of days, from a primary environment where rejection has taken place, is extremely important in the recovery process. The next thing is to process emotions appropriately. So rejection is going to bring with it some level and variant of emotions. Some of these can be positive, like the fighter spirit. I'm going to prove you wrong. I'll show you. You'll see. Others will be negative, like anger and hurt and pain and frustration and sadness. Others will be neutral. Is there something I can learn here? Could I look at this another way? Is there a way I could grow? So all emotions through the process of rejection are important. They should all, or can often all, carry equal weight. So if you put too much emotion behind one, the positive, the negative, or the neutral, then you're missing the whole picture. The more wide cornucopia of emotions you allow yourself to experience, the more likely it is to get to where you need to be and or to get to a place of positive progress in an efficient manner. Now, the next thing is find a support system. Now, there are 2 types of support system. Immediately after the rejection trauma has occurred, you might need people to coddle you and tell you you're going to be okay. You might need people to be soft with you and just kind of hold you and make it, acceptable for you to weep or to get angry or to pound your chest or whatever you need to do. But then also a support system are people that you trust enough to give them the autonomy and authority to be like, well, here's where you could improve for the future. Here's what you could do. I support you. I want to see you achieve this thing. I want to see you find happiness and all of that. But, there are things you can improve. So you need both types of supportive people If you only have the people that are trying to move you forward, you may not be able to move forward as quickly as you normally would if you hadn't have been coddled for a little bit. And on the other hand, if you only have the coddlers, you won't move forward because you'll look at yourself with justification that you don't need to make any changes, and that ultimately leads to stagnation, which is usually not a good thing. Um, and so the next thing is find things that you're joyful about. Do you have a hobby that you have disconnected from for a while? Do you have favorite music, a favorite TV show, a video game where you can use your aggression from the rejection to kind of bring yourself back around into a more powerful and empowered place? Understand that you need to find things to be joyful about and grateful for in order to recover from rejection. Grateful for things could always be worse. Yes, they could be better, but they could always be worse. When you begin to look at ways that things could be worse, you begin to take a more balanced view of what you experienced. When you begin to find joy in things of simplicity, you then begin to be able to change your focus in a way that is positive and progressive. The next thing is understand that you may be slower to heal than some people. I know that in my own life there have been situations where people have made the comment of you should be over this by now. And there are certain things in my life that I've gotten through, gotten past, gotten around, but will never be over. I will give the example of my first love committing suicide over 15, well, let's see. It'll be 14 years in October, so almost a decade and a half ago. I'm still not over that. And I may not be over that before I leave this body. I'm okay with that because I get around it. The work I do now is in direct relation to her loss, and I'm very glad that the worst thing that ever happened to me, which was her suicide, has been used for the greater good. But healing, even now, almost a decade and a half later, is still a slow process for me around certain issues of that life event. And so what I mean is there are things that you may never heal from. There are things that may take you months. There are things that may take you years. As long as you are active in the healing process and willing to look at it, the self-progress is necessary. And that's the other thing, too. No one can make you feel differently. You have to hold yourself accountable for your own progress of healing. You have to hold yourself accountable for kind of being honest with yourself about your strengths and weaknesses and where you need help and asking for the help and seeking it out. And the other thing, too, is possibilities of new things. Focus on that. Focus on the possibility that you can find a new partner, a new job, a new place to live, new family-like relationships if your biological family is being unkind or unhealthy to you. Focus on the reality that you can find a way for your needs to be met, and not expecting that the way you thought they were going to be met is the only way they can be met. The more rigid you are with your expectations, the harder it is to deal with rejection. And so hopefully that is helpful to you. I encourage you, keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Until next time, everybody.